morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending where you are. Squirtles here. Today is an awesome day, and I'm making a video really just to do a random story time with Gridler. We don't really do these very often. I think I've done one or two of them in the past, but since I got out of my last job and got a new job with a new company, a new technology company, I can kind of tell these stories now. Back when I was still working with that company, I wasn't probably able to tell those stories because I probably would get fired, you know, like the classic Instagram stories where people are like, I got fired because I posted a Facebook post saying my boss sucked. My boss was great, but when I worked at my old company, there was a lot of customer issues that happened, and it was really funny. There was this one, we had a lady come in, and that's what today's story is about. She would come in and buy multiple tablets. Like, she'd buy a tablet here and then return it a week later and then want another one because that one didn't work, but it worked. It was perfectly fine. But the story that I'm telling you is what happened with me. Okay, so what happened is I'm a genuine empathetic person and super nice, and I tried to help everybody, right? So she would come in, and even my bosses would be like, hey, you don't want to sell her a tablet. She will bring it back in a week and you will have to deal with her again. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm still going to do my job, right? So I go up to her. I'm like, hi, ma'am. We're going to call her Karen for obvious reasons. I mean, everyone's a Karen. So I was like, hello, Karen. I didn't say her name, but I was like, how may I help you today? You know, and she's all like, well, I'm looking at tablets. And I'm like, fuck, this is happening. So anyways, so I'm like telling her all the specs and stuff and all that. And she's like flirting with me. And I'm like, what is happening to me right now? Okay, and she's not attractive. I'm going to tell you right now, no, not even a little bit. Okay, so I was flattered just because someone was hitting on me, obviously. But anyway, so I get her like all sold. She's like, yeah, I'm going to buy this tablet. I'm like, okay, cool. So I get her up to the register. We're talking. My boss, the general manager of the store, is standing behind me, and he's listening to this whole thing. We're talking, you know, I do that whole chatty thing where I'm like, I'm not just selling you something, I'm selling you myself, you know, like as a person, and, you know, sales. And she's randomly like, she's like, she can't remember exactly what she said, but there was a point when I was like, oh, it sounded like you were hitting on me. And she was like, I was. And I was like, and she's like, so I'm gonna give you my number, and and you should call me, and we should hang out and go to a movie sometime. By the way, she's like 45 and I'm 27. I'm like, what? And my boss is barely holding it together behind me. And it's just a crazy moment, right? So oddly enough, it keeps going. She comes back that next week to return the tablet, and she asks for me. She's like, hey, where's the bearded fat guy? You know, like, she's asking for me. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I'm hiding in the break room. And my boss is like, hey, we got a lady at Tablets looking for some tech help. And I was like, I'm not going. I'm just not going, okay? Because I know who it is, and I'm not doing it. That happened for weeks and weeks after I stopped. Like, I mean, she still came back until, like, 3 or 4 days before I left, like, to leave that job to get a new one. She had come in wanting to buy another tablet. And, yeah, so come to find out, my boss had told me after the situation when he was telling everybody else about how funny it was that the lady was trying to take me home with her. He was like, oh yeah, she hits on everybody that works here. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Because I thought she was about to, like, find me in the parking lot and be like, come on, Griddles, let me tickle your butt. You know, like, I thought that was going to happen. It didn't, but she did keep coming back for weeks after that, and I've had a lot more stories from that job that I can't wait to tell you guys. I just got to remember to tell them. Like, so basically this is what I woke up this morning and I was like, I wonder what's up with that tablet lady. And then I'm like, I should tell that story to you guys. So here we are telling that story to you. So yeah, hopefully you guys like story time with Gridler, because I have a lot more stories to go, because I'm telling you, working in retail was a joke. I can tell you I will never work in retail again. Like, not even a little bit. Not doing it. I love where I'm at now. Love the coworkers I got. They're chill. Super chill job. So I'll bring you more stories about when I used to work at the place that shall not be named for liability reasons. I don't want them suing me for slander or something stupid. So, yeah. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Just be cool about it. And we'll catch you in the next episode of Gridler Tells a Story. I don't really know what we're gonna call this series yet, but it's gonna be something about story time. Probably story time with Gridler, or you know what? That's just what we're gonna call it.